Guess who's back, 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 back again, again, again. Clone Wars back, back, back. Tell some men, rub my back, rub my back, rub my back. Well, I think I found my intro. What's up, Net Soldiers? I'm Net Alliance, and welcome back to another video. Today, we're going to be covering a little bit more of the Clone Wars news that just came out recently. If you guys want more explanation on that, I actually have a video on it already, so go ahead and check it out. So that's pretty much me explaining why it's a big deal, and this video is pretty much going to be explaining what's going to be happening in this season and what we know so far. So, if you haven't heard, yes, the Clone Wars is returning, like I just said, and it's going to be coming back with 12 episodes. So those 12 episodes are probably going to represent certain arcs. I know that there's definitely some bigger arcs in this. I don't think they're going to do any small ones. They're probably going to really make this last season go out with a bang, I guess you could say. I actually heard that they're going to be skipping some of the initial planned arcs that they had planned when the show was originally airing. But those arcs have already been covered in books, so I guess it's okay if they do that, but I prefer to see it in the show. So, like Dark Disciple, that one's gone. And then there's another one that was supposed to be in there that I think got turned into a book. Or is getting turned into a book, I should say. So, we missed those, but that's okay. Because we're getting some pretty interesting ones. And it'd be interesting to see certain points. As far as 12 episodes go, 12 episodes really isn't that much time. And I'm going to guess that usually there's like arcs within the Clone Wars. And then sometimes they have like their single episode stuff. I'm going to guess that the big arc, which is probably going to be the Mandalore one, that's probably going to be like the last 4 episodes. So right away we can roll out that 8 episodes are pretty much going to be dedicated to other story arcs. I'm going to guess that there's going to be a lot of Anakin possibly showing his true colors and turning, not turning the dark side, of course, because it's not Revenge of the Sith yet, but we're going to be seeing him possibly embracing the dark side more. I definitely want to see that. We're definitely going to see Rex and Ahsoka, of course. It's pretty interesting where we're going to go with this. So I'm pretty much going to start off right away. There's definitely going to be an Ahsoka and Anakin reunion of sorts. We haven't seen them together since the last season that we saw, where they kind of split up. And then we see later in Star Wars Rebels that she kind of helps out, but we know that she and Anakin, they might have not had a falling out, but they never really cover it. And in Rebels, it's kind of like insinuated that they never met again. But I guess maybe they have met again, so that's pretty cool. I know the initial concept for the Siege of Mandalore has, I think it was in the Ahsoka book. So in canon, they had met again, but there wasn't any like official, TV show thing going on like the initial Clone Wars was planned. So it's cool to see that. I feel like there is a little bit more that should happen with that, like explain where Ahsoka was in Episode 3, and this kind of explains that, so I'm okay with that. There's also been hints of Cad Bane returning, so that's pretty interesting. I wasn't expecting him. We haven't seen anything of him in Rebels, so it could be expected that he's probably going to die at the end of this season. Like I mentioned in my previous video, the way that these episodes are going to be played out, besides just a story, is they're played out to test the audience and see if there's more time for Clone Wars. Like I said, 12 episodes on Disney's own streaming service, which we don't know about yet, so we definitely have at least a year, maybe a year and a half left before we even see any of these episodes. So we have plenty of time to speculate and get our hopes up until the thing actually comes out and it's probably bad and we all get sad and mad at Disney. But actually, I am very optimistic about this, and I think that they can pull this off. Maybe. They'll probably have their streaming service up by the time Episode 9 comes out. They're definitely going to release the Clone Wars alongside Episode 9 to really just rake in the cash and their streaming service. So, and that's what I would do. So, yeah, that's probably what's going to happen with that. Now, like I said, back to what we're actually going to be seeing. We're definitely going to see more Maul. That one is for sure. I don't know at what point we're going to see Maul at. I know he is in the Mandalore story point. We know that he is in control of Mandalore once again. And at some point, he's going to get defeated for sure. Probably by Ahsoka, but I would like to see an Anakin fight between Maul. You know, I don't think we have really seen Anakin versus Maul thing, and I really want to see that. So if we can see that, that'd be awesome. If not, oh well. But if you can pull something off like that, why not? And then sticking with Maul and Mandalore, there's going to be the Siege of Mandalore. Now, I mentioned this earlier. This is probably the biggest arc that was missing from all the Clone Wars. This is like the final piece to episode 3. You could count it as kind of like episode 2.9. Do you know what I mean? Like, it's legit right there before episode 3 begins. So I guess the ending of this episode, or this episode arc, is probably going to be with Anakin and Obi-Wan leaving the Siege of Mandalore to go save the Chancellor. Or they're going to leave like an episode before. It's going to explain that Ahsoka was out fighting Maul with Rex when Order 66 went down or something like that. I don't know, it's going to be pretty interesting to see this whole idea kind of pan out and stuff. There's a lot of stuff that's going to be happening with this, clearly. Like I mentioned in my previous video, that this isn't just the new episodes coming, this is a test. This is Disney and Lucasfilm testing the audience to see if they want more Clone Wars time period. And I've said before, I said again, the Clone Wars era is my personal favorite era. I think it is the most fun era. I think it is the most interesting era to explore and continue going. I mentioned that it would be interesting that if this does really well, and since the Clone Wars is kind of out of story arcs due to the fact that episode 3 is legit right there after Mandalore, I think it would be cool to explore an alternate dimension. Like perhaps Anakin didn't go to save Palpatine. Maybe he stayed on Mandalore, and that somehow affected the future. I'd be okay with that. I know that it would be a different canon, but I would be okay with this alternate Clone Wars canon. Just because we could explore so much more with all these characters that we lost. You know, Dooku would still be alive because Anakin never went to go kill him. Maybe Grievous would still be alive because perhaps Obi-Wan got captured on the Invisible Hand because Anakin wasn't with him or something like that. You know, it would change up a lot of storylines, and we can actually see it develop as a show. And then it also kind of makes everybody unsafe. Do you know? The idea that in the future, we know what happens to Anakin. He turns to Vader. We know what happens to Obi-Wan. He goes to Tatooine. We know what happens to Yoda. He goes to Dagobah. And it kind of makes everyone less certain about what their fates are going to be. And I think that would be a really interesting idea. You know, you have this show with all these interesting characters. You could pretty much continue the war to wherever you want to go. I'm probably going to do a video on this because it's actually a pretty interesting idea. So I'll do a separate video, but I think it's pretty cool. So there you go, guys. That's pretty much all you need to know about this new Clone Wars season coming to their Disney streaming service. I was thinking they were going to air it first on Disney and then possibly put it on the streaming service, but apparently it's going to be on the streaming service specifically just on it, so I don't know. It's probably going to definitely pull some people in, and I'm going to guess it's going to be around December of 2019 when episode 9 drops. So that's my guess. I might be wrong, but I'm going to bet that I am right. But that's it for now, guys. Thank you guys for watching this video. Please remember to like, subscribe, and notifications if you want to watch more. I will be covering more Clone Wars in the future, so like I said, subscribe. And until next time, guys, I'll catch you later. Peace.